Howdy, 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 and welcome back to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. And of course, it's go time. We're back, and we're back in style with a whole panel. Welcome back to Creatures and Cryptids. All right. Let's dive into a crazy topic today. We've got some Bigfoot to talk about, figuring out if science fiction or science fact is the reality today for our old friend Sasquatch. We've got a large panel here, which is fun. Melvin, the good old sci-fi quest himself, should be here soon, which will be fun. In the meantime, it's been a second since the channel seen Schmook. Chillin', we saw you a couple weeks ago. And Secular Monk, you're joining us for the first time in live action.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes, I
you
am.
want to say howdy and just get the ball rolling a little bit?
Were you talking to someone specific?
Glad to be here. Let's
Just
get
in
it
general?
going.
Yeah? Everybody doing all right?
Howdy.
I'm good with it.
Good. Well,
Ready
fun,
to talk about
crazy,
critters.
zany topic. We have a skeptic side, and we have the people that are true believers that know what they're talking about. I think there might be a true believer, too. I don't know how the mirror is going to look on the camera, so this way. Or this way, I think.
Are you pointing at Monk?
I am.
Use
I think
your
so.
right
I hope so.
Right hand across your body. There you go.
Gotcha. To me, that looks totally backwards, but I guess I'm mirrored on my screen, so I can figure it out as we go.
Well, don't worry, dude. I always.
Hey, if you can hear me, I think I'm having audio issues. I can't hear Harris at all.
I can.
Oh,
hear
really?
you.
So I don't know what's
Yeah,
going
we can
on.
hear you all right.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear any of us?
C.
Hello?
Like, it looks good on my end, but I can't, hear you guys. Yeah, I can't hear you.
Cool. I'm gonna cuss you
You
out.
have headphones, maybe? That's kind of like my first thought, maybe.
Yeah, let me grab that then. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. Well, we have pieces of evidence. We have a nice video that we can kind of dive through if we'd like to, and we have 3 different articles pulled up as well. Let me go ahead and grab those. One was the inspiration for this, and it just happens that I guess now we have 2 local Washingtonians. Really, Washingtonians, right? I think so. Sounded right. I'm going to go with it. Know what we're talking about.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Cool. Well, we'll go ahead and I guess read through the article that inspired all of this to get the discussion going for the day. And then if you know anything that you can add in there that might make us less skeptic or more skeptic, holler. But if y'all are down to read a little bit, let's go ahead and start reading. This happened June 13th, so almost a month ago. We're going to hide Mr. Beast down here if we can.
Let's say that dude is freaking everywhere.
I feel like that guy's face is in like your scam on your, not your scam, but the scammers that hop in chillin' Discord all the time. It's just always Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast. Oh, Schmook's gone for a second. Technical difficulties, of course, but we're getting things going again. It takes a second. We're moving and grooving. All right.
Funny, he could hear us perfectly fine before.
Well, okay. Let me go ahead and get this article moving and grooving. It's not too long of an article, thankfully. So that's about all it is. I can read this one to kind of speed through it. But all right, Dexerto, June 13th, published June 27th is when this actually happened. And we've got our Schmook again.
All right, I can hear you guys now. I can hear you now. So my apologies there. That was weird.
And we've got our Melvin.
Hey.
Quest!
Hey, in fact, I'm not the only one having technical issues, right?
No.
Yeah, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
Well, we've got our Brit with us. That's a good thing. Doing all right?
Yeah, good.
Good. All right. Well, skeptical, not cynical at all, and full belief, whatever you are, let's dive on in. A 50-year-old hiker who describes himself as a lifelong Sasquatch skeptic has filed a formal report with the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization after claiming to have encountered a large unidentified bipedal creature in Idaho's Boise National Forest on the morning of June 13th, 2026. The witness, Donnie Schmidt, a surplus store manager from Boise who has hiked the Deadwood Reservoir area for years, submitted the account to the BFRO, where it was logged as report number 81276. I love that BFRO is an actual organization. According to Coast AM, Schmidt was hiking above the dam at around 11:30 a.m. when he noticed movement, about 60 to 70 yards uphill. Schmidt confused what he saw with local wildlife before seeing it on two legs. Thinking it might be a bear or a mountain lion, he stopped and watched for about a minute before the animal stood up on two legs, briefly looked in his direction, then turned and walked quickly uphill. He lost sight of it after around 15 to 20 seconds. Schmidt described the creature as between 5 and 6 feet tall with long reddish hair, a very broad chest and shoulders, and arms that were noticeably long and disproportionate to its body. He noticed it appeared to have no neck, with the head sitting directly on its shoulders, and that its walk was distinctly human-like. He also reported hearing what sounded like deep pig grunts. What I saw was not a bear or any other animal I recognize, Schmidt wrote in his report. I wasn't afraid, but I was uncertain and confused. I know what I saw, and it was something I'm not sure I was meant to see. It is not the first credible-sounding Bigfoot report to make headlines recently. In late 2025, a retired Air Force veteran and civil engineer, reported seeing a large bipedal figure crossing Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania, with a BFRO investigator describing the account as sincere and credible. All right. Griff, howdy. The ability to be credible in this situation. Where are we at with that?
I mean, from a, I guess what you call it, background perspective, like you've got the report they mentioned at the end, dude's like a civil engineer. It's not like he's, I only live out in the woods and come into town once a month for supplies kind of person, And the hiker guy, I can't remember what his job was, but, he's got people with a normal background. Or whatever,
surplus store manager.
Yeah, there we go. So for what that's worth, just surface level looking at the background, they seem like people that wouldn't be, or that probably would be naturally skeptical rather than believers,
Yeah, that, and then the second guy that I quoted, which we do have his article as well if we want to look at that anytime soon, is a retired Air Force veteran, and he's a civil engineer now. Not the people that you're like, oh, well, Bigfoot lovers for sure. They're just going out in the wood, hugging a tree, and they're going to think Bigfoot's around the corner, To, I guess, add to maybe the credibility of this, another person I know who is an intelligent man who teaches people for a living, even. I don't know. He could know a few things more than us sometimes about certain things. Monk, credible? Or...
I can't... Well, I can't speak to his account necessarily.
Okay.
He sounds like a credible individual. Sounds like he's not someone who's actively trying to create something out of thin air. So on that end, it does sound somewhat credible.
It is a simple...
I will say this, the fact that it's in Pennsylvania and not in its... That part is different.
Yeah, this one was Idaho. Pennsylvania is the other one too, so which means... Because I was only kind of familiar with Pacific Northwest.
Was Idaho? Okay.
Yeah. Right outside of Boise is what it was saying. And Pennsylvania was the Air Force guy in the second article. So I thought it was more Pacific Northwest kind of stringent and kind of a local kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I don't know. Like I don't even think I've ever heard of reporting in Pennsylvania, frankly. I always thought it was definitely more west, but
I can make Pennsylvania.
Oh,
work,
go ahead, Harris. Go ahead.
Well, does the spreading
Sasquatch
across?
comes from your Pacific Northwest, Washington, north into Canada. Who's to say it didn't migrate over Canada, come down into New York, and work its way back west into Pennsylvania? Just
Well,
throwing it out
honestly,
there.
that's a good point, and it kind of brings up another question: is I guess I'm not familiar with it. Monk, you might be a little bit more familiar for us. Are you privy to any Canadian Bigfoot stories in BC or Alberta or anything like that? Because the woods technically connect in their own way, I guess.
Not specifically. Not specifically, but I would think above because Washington State, the peninsula in particular, it has 7-8 Native American tribes on it, and there's this whole the tribes in the U.S. and the tribes in Canada are connected to a certain degree in terms of culture and whatnot. So it wouldn't surprise me if the tribes in the First Nations rather in BC would have stories and myths of that nature.
Well, speak of the devil, as I search it real fast. Canada is a hotbed for Sasquatch lore, with thousands of purported encounters spanning from BC's dense coastal rainforest to remote northern regions in rural Ontario, even. Wow.
There's how they got to Pennsylvania right there.
Yeah, right there.
Ontario. That almost basically connects it.
Oh, well. Yeah, considered mythical by wildlife agencies, credible sightings continue to emerge across the country. British Columbia is apparently the Sasquatch capital. Universally considered the prime stomping ground for Bigfoot in Canada. Harrison Hot Springs, Nitinat Lake, and Crow's Net Highway are frequent sighting spots. Okay, well, we might have to pull those up and check them out here in a second. But while we're trying to figure out... sorry, keep going.
Oh, I was going to say there's central and eastern Canada was right below that. So still working our way to Pennsylvania. I don't know, I got stuck on that.
I only caught like half of that, I'll be honest.
Oh, no, I was saying if you'd have kept scrolling down, there are reports about where they're at in central and eastern Canada, too.
Yeah. I mean, I think it gives a little credence to...
I will say that the fact that it mentions... Yeah, I will say the fact that it mentions Vancouver Island, that is credible. That is credible.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we know how animals are. There's certain animals that are specifically live in certain environments, pocket environments, and stuff like that. Thinking about it a little bit more critically, it makes more sense than rather just like the Pacific Northwest, even just Washington and or Oregon and or BC, whatever you're going to call. It would make sense for animals like this to spread around. We know what bears... they usually have about like a 40 to 60 mile radius of where they walk and wander, and that's one animal. If the closest thing to a Sasquatch would be us or a bear, I mean, if we're really hiking every day, we can hike 10 to 12, 14 miles in a day if we're really trying to. It would make sense for it to kind of have a larger region, which would be cool. In the sense of credibility, Monk, you might be the best person to give us a little bit more of a thought process on this. The SciTrek tribe, is that the right way to say that? I wasn't familiar with them beforehand.
SciTrek is not the tribes.
Oh, that's what they call Sasquatch. My bad.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, SciTrek is what they call them. Especially along the western coast of the Pacific Peninsula, the Sasquatch is actually considered something of a bit of lore amongst the Native American tribes. The SciTrek is what they call them. They view them as essentially. They say that the SciTrek can speak the Native American languages and will communicate with the Native American populations from time to time. There's someone I know who I've worked with who has claimed to have an encounter with a SciTrek, and they claim that their father had an encounter with a SciTrek, and that they're protectors their area of the tribe and of the culture to a certain degree. They're very intelligent beings.
The fact that it goes further back in like Native American lore and culture as well, I think helps add a little credibility rather than, oh, and hey, we're a sci-fi channel. We want aliens to be real most of the time. I'm pretty sure most of us, in the friendly sense, I think.
Hey, aliens are real. We just haven't seen.
Well, then it's not science fiction anymore, Harris. It's just
It's all science facts. Here we are.
it's science facts.
Roland Emmerich was right. Just kidding.
But I do appreciate the idea of the obviously the Native Americans have been, in the States and like in the Americas like well longer than we have, and it makes total sense that this history and lore just goes back so far back, and then just has a deep tradition for them, and then also just as you said, like the encounter that's pretty remarkable, as well as you said their father or their grandfather also had an encounter.
Yeah. The civic person I'm talking about is someone I've worked with the tribe, with the Quinault tribe, and
That's
their
awesome.
father was an elder in the tribe.
That's
Awesome, yeah.
I
What
mean,
There you go.
to have that consistency throughout generations is helpful. To me, the way that if I'm taking my skeptic hat off and saying I want to believe again, like aliens and all these kind of things, it seems like, are you all familiar with like the thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger, in I guess Madagascar, Tasmania, kind of that kind of region? I think mostly
Sure.
just Tasmania. It was an animal that I think the last one that was seen was in captivity in like the 1920s or 30s, maybe like 10s or 40s, give or take, somewhere in early 1900s, and died out, and apparently it's been extinct ever since. There's a lot of sightings all over the place in Tasmania and I believe Madagascar as well, and that's kind of led a lot of people. Forrest Galante, who's kind of like not budget Steve Irwin. He's the closest thing to a Steve Irwin I think we've had since Steve Irwin in a lot of ways. His kind of goal is to go find a lot of extinct animals. He's done that in different areas. There are animals that are claimed to be extinct that he doesn't think are truly extinct yet. And his goal is to go figure that out with the thylacine over in Tasmania. And if there's I would be interested. I might Google it here in a second to see what the amount of Bigfoot sightings a year are versus the amount of Tasmanian tigers sightings.
I'd argue more for Sasquatch or Bigfoot, because you hear about it well more. Like, but again, who knows the data behind all that? I mean, same thing with UFOs, for instance. Like, you could compare that. Like, I mean, what's reported more so? I mean,
I'm kind of thinking it'll be more big feet as well. Big feet, Bigfoot, Sasquatch is.
sure, yeah. Whatever their the plural version is, or
if Monk, our resident expert, doesn't know, we leave it to the Brits, since they like to make all the words for us and add extra letters into them a lot of the time. Quest, what is the plural Bigfoot?
For a start, we don't just add words; we literally pronounce them properly as well.
Rumor does not need a U down there.
Like aluminium,
What was that?
just like aluminium. It's the same.
I'm not familiar with that word.
No.
I do love aluminum though. It's really helpful.
Aluminium,
Yeah.
Aluminium.
jaguar.
Jaguar.
No,
No,
it is jaguar. That's right.
Jaguar.
How can you mispronounce jaguar?
carefully.
Well, there is one way, but I won't go into that. I think
I'm Googling for it.
we're not as familiar with stuff like this because obviously we have our own. We have like the Beast of Bodmin Moor, stuff like that, which is just big cats and stuff like that. So When it comes to something like Sasquatch or Bigfoot, it's like it's more a you thing, essentially.
That makes sense.
And and I mean, I'm curious about what the terrain was like for that Schmidt guy, because I'm looking at that picture that's in there. I mean, is that a picture of the forest in that region? It looks pretty dense, although it is what is that? Some kind of pine or conifer.
Are you talking about this one in the second article right here?
And the first one,
Oh,
the
first
Schmidt.
one?
Yeah, the 50-year-old. Was it the 50-year-old?
50-year-old supply store or surplus.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
This
pretty
one
sure
right
that's
here?
Schmidt, isn't it?
Schmidt, but not John Jacob Jingle.
Yeah, that's the picture I'm looking at. I mean, 70
Dead
yards in
wood
terrain like that is pretty far. I mean, it does look pretty dense. I don't know. I can't see what the undergrowth would be like in that kind of terrain. But 70 yards with it going uphill, you'd probably lose sight of it in way less time than it took for that. Even if it
They're
was
not-
just walking slowly.
They're not pines, are they? What would y'all's forest be, Monk? Would it be mostly pines?
Not pine necessarily. Evergreen, maybe.
Okay.
They're all varieties of pine, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they look like a pine tree, or I would assume they act similarly, which would give them a room to roam, I guess, because there wouldn't be a whole bunch of underbrush with pine trees, which is nice.
Because I mean, someone being from the UK, being someone who doesn't live in areas where we have dense forests like that, we used to, but we cut it all down to make way for farmland. But anyway, I mean, we're literally limited over here, so I don't know what that kind of terrain is like. If that's a naturally formed forest, then it's going to be way denser than any forest we have here. Which means, I mean, the idea of being able to see something 70 yards away in trees that dense, I suspect it's going to be quite low.
Well, the
Especially
thing
when
is,
they're going uphill.
if they're old pines, the branches aren't really going to go all the way down to the ground.
No.
Like it'll be a canopy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But then there's the undergrowth. I mean, I don't know what the undergrowth would be like.
Sparse. It's sparse in that kind of thing. So it's really more about how thick the canopy is and how much light you can get in.
Mm-hmm.
So
To put it this way, in the UK, we have pine forests, but our pine forests are we literally plant them. So they're a certain distance apart, but naturally they can grow quite close together, and which makes them quite dense. So even with just the trunks, even if there's not that much undergrowth,
because they grow so close together, it can still be pretty dense. But it would,
even if there are no branches like
more
below the canopy. But then you got the younger trees as well, the saplings and stuff like that. So I don't know what the terrain is like. Like I say, it's
one thing I'm curious about with the Schmidt guy. He said he was he looked uphill. I'd like to know how rocky that ground was, because the rockier the ground, the sparser the plant life is going to be. So he may have actually had, for that 15 to 20 seconds, a good alley on it until it got to a point where there was more trees. Am I making sense?
Yeah. I'm not trying to.
I mean, as far as the terrain would be
one of us
concerned.
needs to. Yeah. A 70 yards in dense, even pine forest can be quite difficult.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm not sure.
And as far as the terrain would be concerned, depending on where you're at, like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. That's what. Go. You carry on, Monk. It's unusual not seeing you in the chat. Sorry.
Depending on where you're at. Right. Well, it's, to be honest, it's a bit of an adjustment here, trying to figure out when to step in and when to just listen. Yeah. But the terrain there is it's going to be very thick. It's if you're talking about the Olympic Peninsula, you have the Olympic Mountains, which
Nice.
means it's very mountainous at times and very
it's gonna be
thick.
rocky. Yeah.
I forget the name of the show, but there was a show on I want to say National Geographic that was set out of Forks. I forget the dude's name, but he was in a reality show where he actually didn't live in proper civilization. He lived in what's called the whole rainforest, which is a national park on the peninsula, and it's very thick. If a Sasquatch were to come along, you probably wouldn't see them.
No.
They'd probably be very very good at hiding behind trees or
sure.
other things.
And rocky
Would the show
outcrops
be
and
The
stuff
Legend
like
of
that,
Mick Dodge?
That's the one.
Yeah.
No, that can't be.
That's
I
the
mean,
one.
obviously, it's
Mick
Harry and
Dodge.
the Hendersons, right?
He's a local celebrity in Forks.
It's Harry and the Hendersons. That's the show I know about.
Harry and the
Hendersons.
Hendersons.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
And the show.
Yep, that's the dude.
Pretty dense.
Yeah, that is dense.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Um,
and so's the
I mean,
forest.
from what I understand from seeing things about Sasquatch, they're usually quite dark, matted fur that blend in with
With the moss,
With-
like that reddish brown moss almost.
Yeah.
Homie looks like
I mean-
Radicast.
Yeah, that's pretty damn thick
Yeah.
right there.
hmm So, I mean, for start, I don't want to be a skeptic, but I mean, obviously, it's a good idea if one of us is a skeptic in this kind of a conversation, and not having sort of, like, that sort of stuff in the UK kind of gives me the option to be skeptical. I mean, I'd love to believe in this, but for this specific one with Schmidt, I'm not 100% sure that it would actually be believable.
Part
Which
about
honestly,
that,
yeah.
the part about that
it-
article that stood out to me the most was his description, because Sasquatch,
Which part? Sorry.
the description of the creature, is like just about every Sasquatch story I've heard, they're friggin' tall, and he said that one was between 5 and 6 feet.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure I've read or seen something where people are saying that they can be anywhere between 7 feet and 15. Is it something like that? Some say they're pretty damn big.
If I remember
Yeah, I don't know
the
about
video right,
15.
I don't
Like,
believe
think like
15
7 to
feet,
10.
but I'm just saying that most sightings have put it between 7 and 15.
Didn't they say the
But they're at a
sea life 7 to
distance,
10?
so it's hard to say.
My guesstimation is, just because I'm from the swamp, that Sasquatch and alligators are probably not too far in size lengthwise.
Oh, sorry,
That's my
right,
woods.
guys, because my microphone was playing up for a while. I hope it's wrong. It's not too
Yeah.
loud.
The music,
No, my microphone.
Oh no, you're
Uh,
good.
you're fine.
Not good.
This is a new mic, huh?
No, same mic. I just
Oh, you need a new cam,
Changed
that's
I changed the cable. What I
Nice.
did was change the cable, and it seems to work.
So fun fact, actually, if you ever do end up going out to Forks, Washington, it's more than just vampires and werewolves, despite what Stephanie Maris wants you to think. It's also a very much an area for Bigfoot hunts. They have a store that's exclusively dedicated to Bigfoot, with a board of Bigfoot sightings, where they have a schedule of things where you can go on a big hunt. So
Have you ever done
if you
one
ever
of
wanna
those,
actually
or do you know
experience
people
it,
that do?
It's right there.
Have you ever been on
I have
one?
relatives who were firm believers that Bigfoot exists and have done them. I've not done one personally, but I have others, friends and relatives who have, and they're firmly committed that it's a thing. That there's too much evidence on those hunts to prove otherwise. Now, do they have a photo of it or a video of it or what have you? No, but there's too much circumstantial evidence to think that nothing is out there.
Yeah, there's. Let's go ahead and bring it up, because I was Googling it a moment ago. There's 50 to 100 Bigfoot sightings every year. I guess this is just across North America. I guess so that would include Canada. This specifies Washington and California, but I think it would include Canada with saying North America.
I would agree.
Proportionally, what would be the kind of sighting radius for Bigfoot in the US and Canada? I mean, I can't imagine it would be a large part of the country, right? Because looking at the terrain that they prefer to live in, America isn't all covered in that terrain, is it?
No, but it seems like
True.
if Idaho, Pennsylvania, Alberta, BC, and everywhere else that these sightings have happened, that it just would want a forested area, which there's plenty of forest and all kinds of forest throughout the north.
Well, for a start, I
United
mean,
States.
any animal or any creature, whether it's smart or just a regular animal behaving like them, like an animal, obviously, they all want to live near water. They want to be in terrain where they can safely sleep, and also hunt. So and scout and forage if they have to. So that would really limit the area where any kind of creature like this would live as well.
That or make it expand, like the bear would go further to search for more food, or so on and so forth.
Yeah, but that's a different animal behavior, right? These creatures, they don't hibernate for the winter, so they're not constantly looking for food to fatten up. So, and the likelihood is that they can fish. You can fish all year round.
Yeah, if they're intelligent to a degree, you would think they're kind of hunting.
Yeah, they must be able to store at least some. Well, I mean, judging from the forest that they'll be in, probably not necessarily a lot of nuts or berries, but there's going to be something there that they can store for a long time. So,
well, I mean, if you follow the Native American lore on this sort of thing, these Sasquatch have special abilities. I mean, one of them is invisibility. So, that's in the Native American lore.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that
surrounding the Sasquatch.
I don't think they can actually make themselves invisible or anything like that. I think the camouflage, the natural camouflage of their fur, couldn't answer that question. Can answer that easily because you can't see a bear until it's right there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been hiking in like Cimarron, New Mexico, and have walked about 15 feet away from a bear, and hell, back up fast, not too fast, but back up.
Play dead.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mute my microphone. I can still hear you though.
No worries. No worries.
It's the cat.
Yeah, Bailey's all purring over there. No, Bailey's the dog. Nugget's purring. I remember. It just takes me a second.
What, you with short-term memory problems? Perish the thought.
Hope not. The one thing that like keeps me from wanting to dive in and really keeps me in skeptic is even if these what do we call it, supernatural powers, or would we call it
psionic?
Yeah, it'd be supernatural powers in a sense, I guess, just with the way, I guess, in lore Sasquatch is typically talked about. Even if they're just really good at hiding and blending in with trees and stuff like that, the one thing that kind of would, unless they can fly, where are the footprints? Because I know people have faked footprints and stuff like that, but there's not a consistent kind of, okay, well, we actually don't know what animal this footprint goes to my knowledge, is that I don't think there's a cast anybody's made that,
I can answer that.
Can't match this up. Yeah?
I can answer that. Yeah, they can stick to rough terrain where they won't leave footprints. And stony terrain, rocky terrain.
But everywhere they're sighted, it might have stones and rocky stuff, but it's still wood floor forested stuff. You'd think there would still be plenty of dirt and soft dirt around, being in that Pacific Northwest, always humid, and I guess also always being humid and stuff, you're gonna have the dirt kind of be more malleable and can get it would lose footprints
Yeah,
fast
but-
too.
I mean, having experience walking through a pine forest in the UK, even though it's not the same, not as dense, but at the same time, the ground is not always hard or soggy. It's a lot of the time it's actually quite spongy, and if it's spongy, it won't necessarily leave a footprint.
I
Yeah,
And
was
then
gonna
that's
say
a fair
something
point,
along that
actually.
line.
The climate here in the north, the climate here is very similar to the climate in the UK in some ways. That's a good point.
that would make sense.
And
So
like
as long as
being
it
in a-
keeps to rocky terrain, it knows where the best place to walk would be without leaving footprints. The only places where it should leave footprints is on the riverbank, right next to the river when it's drinking water, fishing, or whatever. That's in my opinion. Occasionally, maybe it's like a pack thing where one gets kicked out and it needs to go and find its own area to live. Maybe
Interesting.
that would account for some footprints being found in areas away from water, possibly. But I mean, assuming that the Sasquatch is a higher level of intelligence from, say, a bear or something, along the lines of our level of intelligence, but not necessarily at the same point. Like maybe Neanderthals level thinking.
Yeah,
about it.
I was about to say somewhere between an orangutan and human being, which is probably a Neanderthal. That's kind of perfect. Yeah.
So, I mean, think about it this way: even our animals use a game trail, right? They know where to put their feet and where to put their paws. So, yeah, they know how to hide. That's for sure.
Yeah, and if their prerogative is to hide as well, and you'd think, animals kind of avoid people a lot. They might avoid Bigfoot as well, or Sasquatch in this kind of thought and scenarios.
But yeah, because I mean, Sasquatch. I mean, going back to where they live. I mean, the largest food supply that they're going to have is either fish or meat. I mean, I can't imagine there being that many berries or nuts in a pine forest, even in the US. So, possibly mushrooms.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I don't know if you guys have truffle in your forest.
I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah, I got nothing on that.
From what I understand, Bigfoot are primarily vegetarians. They don't seek. They're not carnivores.
I would have thought
Okay.
they would be omnivores.
At least that's what they've been told.
How would the BFRO or these kind of hunting organizations that go out there and look for Bigfoot, whether it's bird hunting, just looking, or hunting, I guess I don't know exactly what the Bigfoot hunters are going out there for, but like that BFRO organization and stuff like that, do you think they would have credence behind? Well, we think Bigfoot's a vegetarian for this, and this. Is it the lack of random carcasses found in the wild? Is it a bunch of leaves that they found that are bitten in a bite pattern?
I would
that
actually
doesn't correlate.
I would very much argue against the other vegetarian side of the herbivore side of it, because at one point we never left the part of the carcass. We used to use the bones for tools. We used to boil the bones down for soup. So there wouldn't necessarily be anything left.
Well, good old brain pain does bring a great point in here. My dudes, I live in Central Washington. There's so many people in the woods and so many game cameras. No way it wouldn't have been seen by now. Wolverine, Fishers, seen them all. Shall we have a Washington off right now?
Do we have
What do you
to?
think about that? No,
This is the thing. This is the thing. Where do you normally put a game camera? Where you're going to hunt, right?
Where you're hunting on a trail
where you're
specifically
tracking
meant for hiking.
specific animals. Like you put a game camera in a tree over an eagle nest or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Endangered animals, stuff like that. But who's to say that Sasquatch or the Bigfoot will even be in that area because they know from from experience that people go there to hunt. So they're going to stay away from the loud noises, right? They're not going to come running to a gunshot. So
yeah, presumably.
Knowing that there are, they'll probably be able to count all year how many gunshots there are in that area, and they're going to avoid it at certain times. They're going to know when people are going to go down to hunt. So,
right. And my understanding is Bigfoot's also somewhat migratory. So it's not going to be in one place throughout the year. And there's a pattern of where they're at and where at any given time.
We used to. I mean, when we were living in the caves using spears and shit, we literally followed the game.
Follow mammoth herds,
followed them. Yeah. We traveled behind them.
Hunter-gatherers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
We knew that we're not going to be able to pick berries. We're not going to be able to pick, roots and stuff like that because they're not always going to be there. So we followed the game. We followed the best source of protein that we had, which was anything that had 4 legs.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm not trying to be pushy about it, but I mean that is how I would imagine a Bigfoot will be in. I mean,
well, I think that would give credence to
there can't be that much food in the forest other than meat. I don't understand why. I don't see how they could be vegetarian.
Yeah, see, I would think against vegetarian as well, just off the top of my head. Without, I don't know what credence that would have without some random sort of evidence or some kind of thing to show, hey, well, we found these leaves that are eaten or these roots or something like that. Because naturally, I would think if they are migratory, you're either following animals and herds, which isn't necessarily a thing like that anymore, unless they follow birds, and I don't think birds.
Well, no, not since we learned to farm and care for animals. Not since animal husbandry. We breed them for consumption now instead of hunting them.
If they were vegetarian, would they be following certain seasons of different regions of the U.S. and/or Canada and try to find different types of berries, roots, truffles, mushrooms, whatever? It depends
what kind of edible plants are in that area. I don't know. I mean, if I lived in America, I'll probably know because, I mean, in the UK, I try to find out as much as I can for where I am, what wild plants are edible, and what roots can be eaten. But in the US, I have no idea. I don't know what kind of stuff grows in that area. It's a pine forest, so essentially, you might not call them pine, but
quick old Google search over here.
Oh, I was just
the Pacific Northwest boasts an incredible bounty of native edible plants spanning sweet berries, nutrient-rich spring greens, and starchy root vegetables. Whether you are foraging responsibly or landscaping with local flora, PNW natives offer a deep connection to the region's diverse ecosystems.
Oh, hey, look, Gemini. Great.
What's a salmonberry? I kind of want to eat a salmonberry.
Possibly a berry that's salmon pink.
Yep, that sounds about right. Orange or red, there we go. Red huckleberry, Oregon grape, serviceberry, miner's lettuce, stinging nettle, Pacific silverweed. I see why all the vegans live in the Pacific Northwest now. Common commas, wapato, springbank.
That's part of it.
Okay. That's more just native common edible plants. I'm sure there's a whole list with a lot more on it,
Yeah, there probably is. But the fact is that all that stuff is still seasonal.
It is. And I was just about to think on that avenue as well, in the sense of, okay, Pacific Northwest, it is evergreen. Does that mean there's kind of a lack of seasons and that food is more year-round? And if that's the case, why wouldn't Sasquatch in this scenario stay put year-round? If they are migratory and these berries and lettuces, roots, so on and so forth that are out in the wild, if they are seasonal, because obviously it might be humid and rainy all year, but sometimes it's a hell of a lot colder up there. So there are still those big disparate seasons, if they're moving further east during that time.
Well, what is the terrain like in possibly the southernmost reaching part of their territory that they've been spotted in? What is the terrain like in the southernmost part?
Well, if they're in Idaho, that's probably like Yellowstone National Park kind of terrain, because there's a little part of Idaho that tackles into Yellowstone that most people don't know about. But it is a cool little spot of it too. And that would be, I think, the terrain, if you can just picture Yellowstone from pictures, and old guys or Old Faithful, you know what I mean? That would make sense to me regionally.
Well, that one summary also said that California has a lot of Bigfoot sightings, which I assume all have to be like Bay Area north.
I would think
I
so.
have,
Like
I have no
redwoods.
idea. I have no idea what the terrain there is, but in terms of like seasons, I mean, it does get cold in NorCal, but I feel like whatever happens in Washington and Idaho, Montana, I feel like NorCal's is just going to be like more mild, and it possibly, again, I don't know for sure, but possibly mild enough to where a berryless season would be really short.
Yeah. Which would lead to the migratory.
I can
aspect.
kind of speak to the seasons on this sort of thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
As to the seasons, like where I'm at presently, it's one of the rainiest parts of the lower 48. We get a lot of rain, but it's usually very temperate. Like if it snows, it will melt within a matter of a day or so. If that. So it will rain it will rain a lot, but the temperature itself stays relatively temperate.
Oh, that's nice. Well, if that's the case, would they be more migratory or would they stay put? I guess the season of the foods would really make that easier to comprehend, I guess, in that sense.
I imagine you would probably find them in Canada more often during spring, summer. They probably
I'm intrigued with the Canada thing.
Yep.
And that they work their way south, like starting around September, October.
That sounds about right.
Well, okay. If they are
think about it this way:
south,
didn't the Native American tribes do the same thing, migrating?
Oh, totally.
Seasons?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Exactly the same thing. So, I mean, the Sasquatch either copies or naturally followed the same pattern.
I think it's reasonable to think that, if it is a creature that is wandering these woods, that's what it would naturally do. If the closest things to it are human and bear, both very migratory things in their own way. Speaking of that migration, though, the government is tracking many endangered species. So many cameras in the deep woods, hunters, game cameras, just a small percentage, definitely. And if they are going back and forth from Canada to US,
but how many of those cameras actually work? This is the government you're talking about.
I was also about to say, for the sake of the skeptic there.
I'm not saying it about American government. I mean, all governments are the same.
Would the government show us if it was actually working?
Yeah. Government efficiency is one of the biggest oxymorons ever created.
Yeah, just like government intelligence.
That
As in, there is none, but they believe there is.
Just hope for the best most of the time.
Hey,
turns out
UK,
Sasquatch is running all of the governments, and that's what's going on. They're whispering in all of our ears.
Yeah.
They are invisible in the Oval Office right now. That's the Washington they're in.
Well, no, they camouflage. No, their fur changes color. They're literally the carpet in the middle of the room.
That's not a dead bear. That's a Sasquatch.
Wait a minute. What happened to my bearskin rug? Honey!
What bearskin work?
Yeah. This one's just
There is a
it's a
reason
fun
why,
thought
the region wants to have Cascadia. There is a reason why the region wants to separate sometime and become its own country. Cascadia forever.
that's that Oregon and Washington together, right? And like a little bit of
It's Oregon, Washington, part of Idaho, and British Columbia.
okay. Hey, I'm Texan, so I get it. I feel it at the same time.
Yeah, Harris is Texan. He doesn't care unless he's got a gun in it.
I plead the fifth or the second, one or the other. I don't know.
Isn't it the first?
No, it's the second. First is speech, talking.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Y'all's Brit's favorite thing right now.
Yeah,
Head
one
scratch.
one is press, speech, and religion.
Yep. Now name 3 through 17. Got it. Go.
Let me think. 3 would be suck my butt. I can't do that.
Yeah, there's I think I still lean generally towards skeptic, but the thing that really gets me, I think that is just running my logic banks, in my head just a little bit, is still kind of the thylacine thought. There's 11 reported sightings a year, typically averaging out from 1910 to 2019. So that's a lot. The last known individual died in 1936. I'll go ahead and show y'all an image while we're talking about it. You've probably seen the image before. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's colorized, I believe. These were the last. Yeah, this is the last known photo. So, if a little Tasmanian tiger, thylacine, since 1936 has structurally at least been extinct from human records. But up to 11 people see them every single year and comment and report them and say, hey, I'm not crazy. I swear I saw this. And up to, 50 to 100 people every year. And of course, there's got to be some percentage of this 50 to 100 every year that are just doing it for clicks, that are just trying to get something out there, like the whole Patterson, Gimlin kind of film and all that kind of stuff. That's been going on for a while now. But if it's an animal that's elusive, lives in a generally specific area, maybe migrates, and I think migration actually adds credence to the Bigfoot and Sasquatch thought, because any migratory animal is just naturally going to be harder to find. You might have more opportunities to find it because it has a larger breadth of territory to cover. But if it's trying to hide itself the entire time, and in this scenario is intelligent to some degree, I don't know. I think the migration aspect of it does add credence to it. But if there's 11 thylacines seen a year and 15 to 100 Bigfoot sightings reported annually, does that move the needle for y'all at all? Does that kind of give you a credence of?
Well, when you're talking about viewings like that in two different countries, it's also, you also got to take in population levels in the areas of the sightings as well. The more people that live there, the more sightings are going to be, essentially.
And with the larger breadth of territory, more sightings as well. Yeah. I guess in that same thylacine thought, where I'm going with that is Forrest Galante, the guy that does the thylacine stuff. He works kind of off of these people saying, hey, I saw this, hey, I saw this, hey, I saw this, and trying to figure out the credibility of that and then going to those regions and finding animals. There was, I believe, like a leopard or a jaguar, one of the two that he found. There was a caiman that he found, which is an awesome Animal Planet episode, where there'd been 3 or 4, and it was only 3 or 4 or 5 people every year saying, like, hey, we saw this, we swear it still exists. Somebody go find it. And, Forrest Galante is not just there to go, hey, let me go out there, tape a caiman's mouth shut for half a second, take a picture with it, Animal Planet episode, and we're out, They're finding, usually a local kind of wildlife, not reserve, what would be the best way to say that? Wildlife group that kind of goes out there and helps fund support for the animal in the wild, kind of repopulate them in the wild, so on and so forth if possible. And if smaller amount of sightings a year, to me, have produced fruit, in the caiman sense, in the jaguar sense, and I should probably look up here in a moment how many animals Forrest Galante's show is actually declassified as extinct. And thylacines the big one that's like he's chasing, you know, that's his big dream over there. If there's a consistency of this, does that give more credence to a possibility?
Probably not, to be honest.
I mean,
Because for a start, we know that animal existed. Sasquatch, Bigfoot, they've always
True.
been more myth than actual know. They thought 100%, right? So we knew that that animal actually existed. We know what happened to them. It's like any endangered species, really. I mean, we probably know more about the rarest snow leopard or something. Right?
True.
'Cause we had documentaries where they've gone there, they tracked them, they find them, they photograph them. So we haven't had a proper investigation of that kind, where we actually get physical evidence, visual evidence. Because most of it has been speculative. And so, oh, we just found this big footprint. Oh, really?
Oh.
Take a picture. But where's the animal that made it? You know?
Well, okay, that's also a great point.
one thing I don't think you're taking into account on this is that, and oftentimes a Bigfoot will be confused with a black bear. Now, where I'm from, there are a lot of black bears, and the populations in the areas we're talking about an area that's very sparsely populated. So the number of people who may have seen it would be less, because of smaller populations versus an area where Bigfoot could be. But also you have a large black bear population.
Yeah, because black bear, brown bear, they're not necessarily just black or brown bear. They're shades that kind of,
and they can walk on their hind legs for a period of time as well.
that they do. And they would be about 5 to 6 feet, I believe, is their kind of natural height, because they're a smaller bear. They're not going to be towering over you like a grizzly. I wouldn't try to fight it still, but
Oh no, you wouldn't want to fight a little one, would you? I mean, what's
I
the
don't know.
smallest bear in the world? You wouldn't want to fight that either.
those Russians do it all the time. They're crazy, but that's a whole different literal thing. Between hunters' cams, wildlife preservation cams, tourists, native locals, and people just hiking.
Let's just say something else about the cameras as well. You have to remember that an animal has to walk pretty much directly in front of it for it to take a picture.
Yes. The other thing is, and there are obviously reasons.
Think about it this way. It's got an infrared light, right? That's how it takes a picture. You break the infrared light, snaps a picture. So it's possible that maybe a Bigfoot has some way of detecting it. I mean, like a lot of animals can see infrared light, right? So maybe the Sasquatch has that ability. Maybe it can see infrared light. It sees a beam coming from a tree and it thinks, "Oh shit, I'm not going near that."
Yeah.
You know?
Kind of like
it wouldn't even have to have a special retina if it's foggy.
No, exactly. Well, no, it wouldn't.
And it's consistently foggy up there. That makes sense too, you know?
Which is probably why they can't get clear images of anything they take a picture of.
Yeah. I mean, not to get a little hippy-dippy and historical in a sense, but I mean, if they are semi-related to us, if they're able to speak, if they're able to walk bipedally and so on and so forth, all these different things, you know, the sixth sense is not just kind of a joke or a thought. Like, humans had electromagnetism and had like we have evidence that we had a sixth sense, whether it was while we were Homo sapiens or evolving into whatever, you know, that I think that's a little bit disputed.
It's either that or we stink so much like shit that they don't just think, "Oh, there's a human. I'm going the other way."
Well, yeah, but I mean, same thing. Like, that electromagnetism, I think, is kind of a similar concept to echolocation in a lot of way. I think that's why they can kind of or it gives credence to the thought that, hey, we might be able to learn dolphin, orca, whale language, stuff like that, because they obviously have communication with each other that we just don't understand. Could it be similar?
EM sonar.
yeah. Does Bigfoot have like echolocation in the woods and
It could be.
say, hey, like,
Wait, I've seen this somewhere before. It was in a movie. What was it?
actually, literally, the Legend of Ochi is like little tiny Bigfeet in the woods in a lot of way. Good little A24 movie from 20.
Is it The Descent I'm thinking of?
The Descent
It's like
is
humans that evolved to live in a cave and they're blind, but they use echolocation to find people. Or no?
Yeah,
No, sorry, that's the cave. Descent had a different way of doing it. So many. Stop it.
Bigfoot is behind the.
That's
plot
another point. That's another point. Even if you're going on a hike in the middle of nowhere, you take your fucking phone.
Sure.
Phones have cameras. What is the first instinct if you see something unusual? How do we get so many UFO images now? Because someone sees a light in the sky and they think, "Oh, I'm going to take a picture of that on their phone."
Yes,
You
yeah,
see
that's
Sasquatch
true.
in the forest. You think, "I'm going to take a picture of that. I might get some money for that."
Well,
This
because
will
one
look great
thought.
on the gram.
It's like, I
Well, like-
might be 50 years old, but you're going to tell me he doesn't have a bloody smartphone.
It's
Yeah.
charging right back there. I'm 50.
Do you have a smartphone? Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
And you know how to use it, right?
I know the basics. I don't think there's
That's
a
all you
phone.
need.
I
That's
don't
all
think
you
there's
need.
a phone I've ever owned where I like took full advantage and like did a deep dive on all the shit you can do with it. Like,
But hey, I mean, you know more than to just pick it up, dial the number, and press the green button. If
Yes.
you know more than that, that's perfectly fine. Just like my old man.
I can find my way to YouTube and the hub.
Just like my
Hey.
old man who's 88 this year, he knows more about smartphones than I do.
I was going to say, next week we're watching Chillin take apart his smartphone and put it back together.
Yeah,
Surprise,
no.
Yeah, you would
So
run
I
if you
actually
saw
want
Bigfoot.
to pose a question to Quest. My question is this: so what we're talking about Bigfoot, but if you go to the UK, you have the Loch Ness monster. Wouldn't the same thing apply to the Loch Ness monster? I mean, if someone if everyone has phones, why aren't there more pictures of the Loch Ness monster?
That is a good question. I don't know for sure because I've never visited Loch Ness, so I don't know what people do when they go there. They're not necessarily going there to look for Loch Ness for Nessie. So
Is Loch Ness attached to the ocean at all? Are there like
it's probably
tributaries that lead out to
because
it?
I mean I'm skeptical with the Loch Ness monster. I don't think Nessie is actually real. So I could imagine that there's no pictures because there is nothing. Just every single picture that they've had in the past has always been debunked. Every single one of them. So, I mean, I
The
could
Brits
say,
don't like their little
every picture of Bigfoot is just someone in a Wookiee costume walking through the forest, right? I could say that.
Chewbacca
What do you
wasn't
say
around
about
in 1800s,
Washingtonians with?
Maybe
With
that's why we
Bigfoot?
don't see him that much because they've just gone back to Kashyyyk, right?
though.
It's too good.
Well,
Thank you,
They
Sarah.
all got their own
For,
Millennium Falcon.
Well, again,
Meeting
I
Chewbacca.
hate to go back to like back to the Native American lore and whatnot, but part of it is that they are kind of isolationist in the sense that they don't want to be around people necessarily. They want to hide. The only reason they would ever come out is if there was a threat against them or one of their own. According
Well,
to
I mean, I could
people
argue
that
that because
I know that have claimed to have seen them.
If you feel like you're in danger of being harmed, you're being threatened, you don't go out. You stay where you are. You find.
but if you're already out,
if you live in the cave, well, I mean that's the thing. If you feel like you're threatened and you're out there, you just go somewhere you feel safe. doesn't mean you run in any direction, right? There's always going to be somewhere you're going to be trying to run to. It's like your car's in a certain direction, so you run in that direction.
I'm simply suggesting that they don't want to be found.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't.
Maybe. No, exactly.
But it doesn't mean that they're
if they don't want to be found,
successful avoiding
there's
people.
a chance they do actually exist. It's just that they're not. It's just that they're not something that is relatively is photographed all the time.
Well, here's the thing. There should be hundreds more photos than we've had before now, because in the past it's just photography was different. You have a camera with a reel, you got to load it up and stuff like that. But now with the mobile phones, everyone's got a camera. You've always got it to hand. So there should technically be a hell of a lot more pictures of Bigfoot now than ever before, because even when you go hunting, you take your phone because you're going to need it for emergency service if you have an accident. So the bottom line, in my view, is yes, they very well could exist. The likelihood of them being able to stay out of sight all the time is very low.
Well,
very low.
I can tell you from experience that being up on the Olympic Peninsula, that you get no cell phone reception. It is a literal dead zone most of the time, regardless of carrier.
So they haven't done in the US what we've done in the UK and just put cell towers up in the. I'm saying cell towers. It's very American of me.
Oh, the vast majority
out in the forest disguised as trees.
Oh, well, there's a lot of those too, but some places are just too hard to get to, and that's definitely one of the places in the States that's too hard to get to.
You don't need cell service to take a picture, though. Just pull
no,
up
you
your
don't.
camera and go, look.
Yeah. Well,
Fair.
That's kind of where I keep bringing this back up, because these animals do not have pictures taken of them.
If they can put a cell tower on top of a mountain, that'll cover the ground below, right?
Yeah, but it depends. There's a lot of variables into all of that. It's hard to generalize with that one.
There's variables in everything.
Yes, very true.
Yep.
Very true. And
But
speaking
the
of
amount of variables varies.
it's true. like right here though, none of these animals were photographed, and they would have a few sightings of them a year, so on and so forth, until eventually, of course, teams went in, did a whole lot of it, and not just not discrediting the Bigfoot research organization, BFRO, I think what it was.
Yep.
Or any of the hunting parties that go out there to go out and check for them, but it does seem, and of course, they're a hobbyist in the U.S.
I would actually prefer it. I'd actually prefer it if someone went out there, did their own documentary, just two people, one person holding a camera, well, both of them holding cameras, and they stick together, because when you say party, how many is in that party?
Yeah, because
the more people, the more noise, the more scent and everything. So the more people there are, the less likely you are to spot it.
Agreed.
Any animal.
Because I was about to bring up those shows that are there, and those Bigfoot shows and stuff.
I mean,
I'd like expect to see them if you have a film crew of 15 people.
Only two people, and that's only because you should never go to the forest on your own, unless you're
Survivor Man it, or I guess Survivor Man plus it.
You want someone holding the camera whilst you're talking to it, right? So, and you also want someone there that either you or the cameraman's going to be holding the rifle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you wouldn't want the rifle on you whilst you're in front of the camera, because YouTube.
Yeah,
essentially. Because if you're going to do a documentary and there's two of you, then it's going to be on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
it's like that's the most likely place where you're going to have actual evidence given that will be extremely difficult to debunk.
Well, okay. To kind of just
Other than the
Have
fact
fun
that
with it for a
there are a
second.
lot of people that will go out there and fake it, I hate that idea. But I prefer. I do think that YouTube, social media, is going to be the areas where things that hadn't been seen properly and proven before are going to improve. Because national media will
But
not
at the
cover
same
stuff like
time,
that.
social media is also the same thing that is a bunch of AI and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That
Mhm.
could be right, could be wrong, could be real, could not be real.
Yep.
It's-
C-Dance 2.0
This is the problem with
example.
AI. This is the problem with AI.
So okay.
It's great for creating stuff, but at the same time, it creates things that are getting even more real in appearance. Right?
Just wait till we nail quantum computing. Hello, Skynet.
If we nail quantum computing, hopefully, but shoot.
No, the quantum computer will be the way to solve Skynet. Create a more powerful AI to deal with the old AI.
There
Woo!
you go.
Not spooky at all. To kind of
Not to
try
put too much
to,
of a real world stamp on this, but I think Trump is creating something called Skynet.
yes, he did. I'm pretty positive.
Trump is creating some.
Isn't that like a defense shield over the US?
No,
or
I will not
something?
leave AI alone.
I'm staying quiet for when the AI.
David, you're my favorite AI
I won't have
generator.
the history of messing with them. I just sat here quiet.
Okay. Because Melvin and I, we had this conversation already. We had a whole 2+ hour stream about it. Maybe this will have you find some middle ground here. Dragons, man. Are they real? Science fiction or science fact? Because there's a lot of evidence to say that, hey, every culture on the planet has experienced them.
Well,
Everybody's got
let's put it this way.
Rich
There's a
history
lot
and
of
lore
evidence.
mythology around them.
There's no physical evidence, but any speculative evidence, like the mockumentary that I was talking about when we did that.
Uh-huh.
Anything that they said in that actually explains why there's no evidence of them actually existing. So that's the thing. So, I mean, are they real? Possibly. Anything's possible,
It's true.
right?
What
I guess-
about if it wasn't actually dragons, but dinosaurs?
Yeah, or we kind of went down that avenue of
we go down? We did go that route, yeah. 'Cause
pteranodons,
I was talking.
pterodactyls,
I think I
all kinds of
mentioned
things.
when we did that talk. I think I mentioned the show Primeval, where in one of the later seasons they actually have a knight come through an anomaly into the present time on a horse in full plate with a lance and sword, everything. But he was chasing a dinosaur that had 2 fins on the back, which looked like wings, which would have explained why they thought it was a dragon, and it had a forked tongue that would look like flames, bright colors. So, yeah.
Well, and
Yeah,
Dave.
dragons are mothers-in-law.
that was great. That was great. Because the thought with dragons are, hey, even if they were alive, their bones probably wouldn't have fossilized. They would have been hollow. If they were real, there's about a 99% chance they were hollow bones, like birds. Birds technically are dinosaurs. They're the closest. Alligators and birds are essentially the closest things we have left to dinosaurs. And crocodiles, of course, so on and so forth. We have a lot of different bipedal hominids. Does one more really change the thought process too much? Is it not? We don't find hominids, preserved very often. We don't find a lot of people bones tens of thousands of years old and so on and so forth. And if there is a small population of these right now.
What was that girl that ain't that oldest skeleton that they found? I think it was like 10, 15 years ago, something like that. remember how.
Oh, I kind
It's
of.
like the oldest skeleton, oldest human skeleton found in
I have a vague
history, I
recollection.
think, or something. I can't remember what they call it. How old was she?
This one
Oh yeah, there we go.
date backs 300,000 to 315,000 years.
Yep.
Discovered in
And if I
Jebel.
remember rightly, I think she also had mixed blood. She had both Neanderthal and human. If I remember rightly, that's when they found. That's when they started speculating that Neanderthals and us and we interbred, which is what actually killed them off, rather than a disease or anything like that. They were basically bred into us,
Oh wow.
in theory.
I thought I was.
It might not have been
Other
that one,
TikTok.
but it might have been a different one, but it makes sense.
I saw this TikTok the other day. This is
Mhm.
such a funny line of thought. So, guys, so dinosaurs, when they die, they decompose and turn into oil. We drill for oil and we turn it into petroleum. Some petroleum gets turned into small plastic balls. Those small plastic balls are sent to toy companies that make toy dinosaurs. Toy dinosaurs are real dinosaurs. I was like,
That
wait,
is actually,
what?
That is clever. That is
I was
actually
like,
very
what?
clever.
Yeah.
That is very.
Dinosaurs exist.
It
3-year-olds
fits.
are playing with them.
Touche. They're in Toy Story. They have to be.
So every DVD case is part of a dinosaur.
Touche. Well, speaking of DVD cases,
So you can't say at Jurassic Park dinosaurs aren't real now.
Nope.
Because they're in the case.
If you want to take it one step further, anything made of plastic comes from a dinosaur. At that point, in that case,
Touche.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So every microwavable container that you microwave your food in, you're microwaving a dinosaur.
So microplastics.
Does that
are just
include?
extra
Does that
protein?
include American plastic cheese?
Of course.
You're
Ish.
eating a dinosaur.
Ish. Yeah. Why not?
I know it's not actually plastic.
It's not.
It just
not.
has the
I mean,
texture and
it's-
feel of it. It might as well be. You can't melt it down and make something out of it. But you can melt it down and make it taste nice.
Melt it down and
Grill
make
it,
something.
man.
out of
Grill
it.
it. Nothing better than grilled American plastic cheese.
I mean, I wish there weren't. I mean, I wish there was, but it's delicious. It's deliciously awful.
Velveeta's amazing. That's all I'm gonna
That
Hey,
just made me
most
think
of
of it.
a lot of the most delicious things are the worst in this world.
Oh yeah,
say. Yes, that's
It
why
wouldn't be
I'm
worth the
away.
sacrifice otherwise, would it?
touche. Yeah, the melt it down and do something with it made me think of a joke. Growing up, when Michael Jackson died, my friend's dad was a radio host at the time, and he said on air,
This
Well,
motherfucker
Michael
was
Jackson's
growing
died.
up when Michael Jackson died.
"Yep, I was like 15. Oops."
Fook you.
I'll never use a plastic straw again. Save the turtles, man. Nice.
But they
He
taste
told the
so
joke.
damn nice.
The day after, he
I'm
said,
joking, I don't
"Well,
know what
Michael
it tastes
Jackson
like."
died, so now they can melt him down so kids can play with him for a change." It was-
I've heard-
it's
I've
a
heard
morbid
that joke
but it's
before.
great.
Yeah,
I love it.
I heard
But yeah, would just with where we're at, this honestly might be one that we extend further down the road. Maybe not another Bigfoot episode, but I think something like orang pendek, like different bipedal species that we know have existed that
Wendigo.
could give credence to kind of this thought. Might be something fun to dive into
Oh yeah.
in a month or two or whatever down the road, because there are a bunch of, we've got Godzilla, we've got a bunch of things coming out this year to discuss for this
Oh, that trailer
podcast,
looks
which
great.
would be fun.
Sure looks
I'm
great.
excited for that.
Oh, speaking of, it's not coming out this year, but Alien Earth Season 2 starts filming soon. Or it just did.
Yeah.
Or
I'm not very
it's just
excited for
about
that.
to. It just hired a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's either just about to or just did.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that because season 1 was a big letdown. for me.
It started off good.
For the hype and everything. I mean, the ending was just really, and then
The
all of a
last
sudden
episode
it's like,
and a half
don't
kind of
worry. I think I remember reading an article where they said, "Don't worry, season 2 story will not include that." So you're just doing something that you've done before, which makes it even worse.
Huh. Yeah, the big thing that keeps me on board for Alien Earth is the fact that it's Noah Hawley, the showrunner.
Hey, I just like seeing the xenomorph kill people and burst out.
Touche.
Right.
That's also a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that's right. The one homie from Game of Thrones got cast in it. Tracy Ullman is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Ew. Oh wait.
Oh no, it has begun filming.
Ew. Oh god, I just poured tea out.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Where are they filming? Are they still filming in Thailand?
I don't know. It was just a tweet that source deadline. They didn't link the article because they're douchebags.
Okay. It probably won't be long till we find out. The moment something starts leaking, it just they can't plug the hole. So.
Well, they got Sam Spruell.
Wait, haven't they also haven't they started working on Alien Romulus 2 as well?
Yes.
Something about that. I think they're doing the script or something. Are they?
Because there were squabbles, I believe. I think Ridley Scott was squabbling with producers, and they were like, "Oh God, we shouldn't have given the reins back to Ridley Scott."
Yeah,
which hurts my soul a little bit, but also, well, they weren't going to give it back to Fede Alvarez for some reason, which is odd. But I don't know. It's
a lot of people are chalking that up to Ridley as well.
One more time, sorry.
I said a lot of people are chalking that up to Ridley as well.
Yeah.
Like
it's
probably
if you want to make a
thing.
good
like,
alien
way better than I did. Shit, get him out of here. He did too good of a job.
Yeah. If you want to make a good
all I
alien
want is
movie
Alien
or
3 on
series,
4K Blu-ray. That's all I want.
I want Disney to put the special editions and director's cuts up.
Started to mention it a minute ago. Talking about plastic and dinosaurs and such, you got a lot of dinosaurs right there behind you and a lot of physical media, which is beautiful to see.
Yes.
Especially
I know you talk about it often.
It is my addiction, you might say.
That's a brontosaurus on his show. It's like one whole freaking brontosaurus.
You're not wrong.
With how much oil you get from a full dinosaur, it's probably about 3 brontosauruses over there, I guess.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then turn it into plastic.
Though if you want to be fair, like the plastic here and here, but if you go down here, it's steel books. So I'm not sure that counts.
So brontosaurus and a half.
Wait. The
collectible stuff.
Plastic though, right?
A Giganosaurus instead, right?
Yes, yeah, the name's changed. See, well, I grew up in the 80s. Leave me alone. It's a fucking brontosaurus.
Yeah. No, Octo-Eye Sheep is
the thing that made me want to collect
excited
movies. It was my first movie that I ever collected. Jurassic Park.
Ew.
Nice. Well,
The worst depiction of dinosaurs ever.
Scientist now.
It was great when it came out, but then people think, yeah, but they didn't look like that.
I dispute this.
Like, shut up! It was a good film. Shut up! It was a good film.
Jurassic Park's a good movie.
It was.
It was a great
Jurassic
movie
Park
when
is
it
the
came
reason I
out.
became a movie fan. Now look at me.
There you go.
Ayo. No, it's Jurassic Park's probably inspired just as many people as Indiana Jones in a lot of ways. And Spielberg has hands all over both.
Yeah, there you go. It was like it was the Indiana Jones for the 90s kids.
Yeah. Which Stargate should have been, but Jurassic Park came out within a year after it, so we lost that one. We were good for a minute there.
Sorry, Roland. Dinosaurs always win.
Which, I mean, kind of a good thing because then we got SG1, SGA, SGU, but hey, we didn't end up.
But to his credit, Spielberg had a great year that year. That year, he released Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year. Who does that?
Okay.
Which such different films too, like, and you almost need to watch Jurassic Park after Schindler's List just to to get you off of it, just to
And
help your brain a
facts,
little bit.
Fact, that movie was friggin' intense.
Yeah, Schindler. I can't even say it right now. Oh my god, it got me tongue tied. Schindler's List should be seen once every, I think, 15 to 20 years.
Something like that. I've only watched it once, and I still am like, not good. Not because
The
it's a
only
bad
film-
movie, but just because it's such a mind fuck. Oh, there you go. There it is. There's
Hell
Jurassic
yes.
Park.
Limited edition set, Best Buy.
Oh,
Only
cool.
Like 5,000 created.
Boom.
Does that say World? Is that like a full box set?
It's the Jurassic World. It's the Jurassic World box that has everything up to the last one with Sam Neill.
Wow.
And every season of Camp Cretaceous. I'm kidding. That's Netflix.
No,
they wouldn't do it if they
that's
wanted
not
to.
in my canon.
No?
That's not in my canon.
Ah.
To be fair, the only movie in my Jurassic Park canon is Jurassic Park. The rest are just monster movies with Jurassic Park slapped on them.
Yeah. You wouldn't say Lost World because it's at least a novel?
Oh, funny you should mention that. I read the book before it came to theaters. I was in middle school at the time. I read the book. I was psyched for it. There was a character that they don't include in the movie that's in like a main central character in the book, and it totally just wrecked me because the guy was my favorite character.
Hey,
That and
hey,
the-
it's not like they
T-Rex
follow
in San
everything
Diego
from the
thing.
Yeah. Is that Lost World or is that the third one?
That's Lost World. Lost World's an amalgamation of stuff from the Jurassic Park book, stuff from the Lost World book, and they mix it together. Like the whole T-Rex in San Diego thing, that's actually came from the first Jurassic Park movie. The T-Rex never actually made it to San Diego.
Oh shoot. Yeah, I just most of what I remember from the Lost World is William H. Macy. That's about it.
I don't think I've ever
That's the
watched
third
any
one, I
of the
think,
world
but-
ones.
That's the third one?
I've
Yeah,
never actually
that's the
watched
third one.
any of the world.
Him and
Watched
Leone and
1
a
through
few
3,
others.
That's it.
Which one is Lost World? Vince Vaughn and Julianne Moore then? Or Julianne Moore?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, my brain always gets those vice versa.
Yes.
Oops. I might like the third one better than the second one then.
Yep.
Okay, interesting.
The second one is a bit of a letdown, but fun fact also, Ian Malcolm dies in the first book, but then is somehow resurrected for the second book.
Come on, Crichton.
Yeah.
If anybody's
He's
going to be good
normally
about
not
that,
that
it should
funny.
be Crichton, you think.
You think?
Okay. Yeah, you think you'd hope. Okay, interesting. Well, before we kind of start dying down on the Bigfoot talk for the evening, do we want to talk about that Patterson-Gimlin film and the hoaxes and stuff, or do we want to read that other article you sent, maybe?
Let's go with the article. Is it the
Yeah.
one I sent you from about the sighting in Washington?
This one?
Yep, that one.
Cool.
That's the one.
Well, the guy in the swamp, April 2023, daylight encounter shared exclusively with Sasquatch the Legend. This looks a little less. Well, actually, that's really brushy right there. It's just a small opening. I was about to say, oh, that's some room to see some stuff, but hey. All right, I guess, get this in a better position for us. Does not depict the exact location of the encounter. Okay, cool. Earlier this month, in April 2023, Greg Brown, a recently retired longtime Boeing employee, and his wife Sharon were traveling from oh my God, I can't speak anymore. Olympia, Washington, I might just start calling it Olympa. We're going to add that with Ravenou into the new dictionary. Washington towards the Pacific coast. Heading to Westport and Grayland, it was about 9:30 in the morning on a typically cool, gray and cloudy Pacific Northwest day. Brown was driving a big truck with a 36-foot fifth-wheel trailer attached to the back. So, with this extra load, he was focused on safety and chose to travel in the slow lane on the right side of the highway. Nice little graphic to give us an idea of where he's at. Oh, area where encounter occurred. The red pin picks the location of the Ranch House restaurant. The encounter took place a bit further west than the pin. Okay, cool. So between McCleary and Olympia, essentially. Brown had just exited 101 and turned into Highway 8 West. He passed a well-known restaurant called Ranch House Barbecue on the left side of the highway and then continued on for a couple miles, still focused on driving as carefully as possible. Something on the right side of his vehicle suddenly caught his attention. In a watery, swampy area with short little trees, he saw what appeared to be a guy standing in the marsh, bending over and reaching down into the water for something as if he were trying to catch a fish or a frog. They're omnivores! I'm sorry, I had to. What on earth is that guy doing out there? Brown thought to himself. The guy in the swamp then stood up, getting taller and taller as he did so, and Brown realized that the guy was entirely covered in black hair and taller than he should be. He was between 6 and 6.5 feet tall. He looked kind of like a man, but also not like a man, and Brown knew instantly he was looking at a Sasquatch. Look, Sharon, look! Anybody want to give us their best Aussie impression right there?
Sharon!
Perfect. Brown exclaimed to his wife while pointing to the figure in the swamp. His wife, who had been intently focused on her phone, glanced to her right just as the truck passed the swamp. With trees now obscuring the view from the truck, she missed the opportunity to spot the figure, which she now deeply regrets. Brown wanted to stop the truck immediately to show his wife and get another look at the figure himself, but he couldn't simply hit the brakes and turn around because his truck and trailer together totaled about 20,000 pounds of weight, just a little bit. As soon as he came to a location with enough space to allow him to turn the truck and trailer around, he did so, but by the time he returned to the swampy, marshy area, the figure that had been there was gone. It rattled me, seeing that thing out there, recalls Brown. But I know what I saw. There was no mistaking it. That was Sasquatch. Thank you, Greg, for coming into the Forks, Washington Sasquatch the Legend store, for generously sharing your story with us and for allowing us to use your name. They really appreciate it.
Yeah. I don't know about this one. Because didn't he say that he was driving the truck safely? What the fuck is he doing looking to the right side away from the road? If he's doing
that's in the U.S.,
So-
the right lane is the slow lane. You're
but
passing. Like,
no,
to
he was
left
literally looking out away from the road. That's the point. I mean, if you start the thing off saying, "Oh yeah, I was doing it safe. I was driving it safely." So, what the fuck are you doing, looking at a bit of green somewhere on the other at the side of the fucking road? Yeah, you just either he's lying about either he's lying about driving safely, or he's lying about seeing Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Sorry.
What's the
just
likelihood
saying.
that what he saw was just a bear, like a black bear in the woods?
A black bear having a drink from a puddle in the swamp? That's more likely.
From the long dark hair that the guy describes, I'm kind of more privy to agree with the bear.
How fast do you think he would have been driving as well?
Oh yeah, even if okay, that's like a
I would say
farm to
anywhere,
market
probably-
road.
I would say anywhere from 45 to 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Seriously, how you can't
I
see
actually
that
had to
much
drive
detail
that
about
road
speed,
to
right?
Olympia today.
Oh yeah.
The speed limit goes about 60 miles an hour, but people don't almost follow that.
Yeah. Well, so even if he is driving safe, it might be 55 to like 70.
I mean, I don't know what restrictions you have as a lorry, as a we call it HGV, but I don't know what limit you're supposed to stick to in a truck. Because over here, we're not. If you're driving a truck and a trailer, you're not allowed to go over 55.
It depends.
Oh, yeah.
On the certain
It depends if it's a commercial vehicle or not. His was
And
private, so he could drive at the regular speed limit.
Yeah, but that's the thing. See, what I'm used to is a truck is a commercial vehicle, even if it's privately owned, it's still categorized as a commercial vehicle.
Well, with a 36-foot trailer, that might even if it's just his own trailer, it's not commercial. It'd be large enough to be considered commercial, possibly, but
They still have to. Does he not? Do they not have to stick to the legal restriction for a vehicle that size?
it depends on the road.
This is my point, because over here we have a limit that a truck or an articulated lorry is not allowed to go above.
Yeah, and that would give credence to him going slower, maybe in that like 50, 55,
So,
maybe.
yeah,
just
yeah,
under
that's what I
the
mean.
base.
So that's the comparison I'm trying to make, because I don't know if you have a restriction over there in that start way.
Hmm.
I would assume that you do, because if you've got trucks traveling those roads like that, I mean, I'm assuming it's a single carriageway, or maybe a dual carriageway, something like that.
Let me tell you
If
about
he's
American truck
2 to 4
drivers.
lanes.
Probably
They
4
don't
lanes.
give- especially
Dual.
commercial truck
It's
drivers around here. They don't.
it's
give
4
a
lanes,
crap
two
about
each way.
speed limit.
Cool.
That's a dual carriageway.
Yeah, trust me, I get blown by semis
Well,
on a daily
and-
basis.
And something else you got to consider on that road, you have a lot of lumber trucks with lumber like cut down from the woods going 60
Going slow.
with the trailer with lumber.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
Oh, Final
no
Destination.
going 60. The lumber trucks don't care. You don't mess with
My
them.
favorite scene.
Yeah, do not drive behind them. Avoid that like the plague, because sheesh.
So basically, him saying that he was driving safely, then that's him trying to keep his license, right?
Yeah, it still sounds like he was probably driving 50, 60 miles an hour. And if he sees
Yeah.
something, lean up.
And I'm sorry, but even at 50 miles an hour, the scenery goes by too quick for it to even see that much fucking detail.
That makes me think it was probably a bear. If it's the color he's thinking, rather than like the brownish red kind of coating that everybody tends to gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Or are there variations of Bigfoot? Maybe I guess this is the Washington area, right? So that should be like your reddish brown that everybody sees up and down BC and that way. Who knows if the Idaho big feet are closer to dark colored, and maybe in Alberta they're not, or wherever, Ontario, wherever. Yeah, that's interesting. So if we're hour 40 into this puppy, maybe
I like how they call it an encounter as well, because he didn't actually encounter it, he saw it on the side of the fucking road. That's not an encounter. My personal opinion is an encounter is it's right in front of you, you're on foot, it's standing there looking at you. That's an encounter. It's at the side of the road, possibly drinking some water out of a puddle or a pond or something, catching fish. You know,
It's an encounter of the first kind. Come on, way back there.
yeah. I mean, I was about to say, if someone's on a bike and sees something, I'd
Yep.
consider it an encounter.
No, I
truck.
did not say that, Dave.
It's the people inside the trucks he was talking about.
Gotta follow the book of the road.
Okay.
Thank you, George Carlin.
Let's.
Exactly.
Yes.
And also Kevin Smith and Jay Muse.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Let's
And
say.
the scene after that, Carrie Fisher.
Damn. All so good. Okay, let's give our skeptic take, and let's give our take. Let's all give our take if we're trying to be in the skeptic at the end of the day here. Let's all give our take on.
I
Hey,
thought I just did.
we think it's real. Well, you did that one, but what if it's real? Now, if it were real, what would you say, Chris, just to get you going? Because you already did just give your skeptic take.
So,
You
holy
want us to
fuck,
steal
it's
man-
real.
You want us to steal
Really
man
saw
both
it.
sides?
Well, if it was real, what evidence would make you think so? And if you're from what we have right now, does anything make you would anything give credence to kind of allow you to believe that this is a possibility, kind of alongside dragons or something like that, where, hey, it could just be not fossilized. We just don't see it. If they are intelligent to a degree, they're just good at hiding. They're grabbing their dead and mourning them and hiding them, so they're not going to see them, so on and so forth, you know?
Or they eat the dead.
Or are you 100% skeptic? There are options.
I think I said it before, didn't I? That, you know, I don't want to be the skeptic here. I want to believe that this stuff is real, but you know, it's all to do with evidence and stories that you read, and especially when one of the articles actually says this story is by, on at the bottom of the bloody page.
Yeah.
Or this story is brought to you. And so it's that sentence alone at the bottom of an article is like, no, really? You're gonna say that now?
Yeah.
It's like, not this article is brought to you, this story is brought to you. There's a difference, right? Is it just me that sees a difference? I'm pretty sure there's a difference.
No. In that verbiage is used most likely, at least purposefully.
Yeah.
Right,
Story
wrong, or
to me,
indifferent.
if it says story, it's made up.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, both of these stories have their aspects that you think, oh, well, you know, possibly. But at the same time, they're both highly unlikely at the same time. You know?
Agreed.
There's another word for articles in journalism.
Bullshit.
It's called story.
Oh, that's also true.
Mm-hmm.
That's also true. To say it at the very end of an article could be a little misleading, but yeah, articles are called stories. Like the journalist is getting the story and so on. So
Well, normally, if they want you to believe something, they'll normally put this report, right?
yeah,
Not necessarily.
This report was brought to you
it just
by
depends.
It just depends on the situation.
Mhm.
whether they believe the guy or not, really. And they just put, it's a story because it's made up.
Yeah. Well, Chillin, would you like to give us your dissertation on both sides, good sir?
Okay, well, if I'm gonna like really put my lawyer hat on, like there is a certain amount of, you know, the circumstantial evidence. The thing about circumstantial evidence is it can be just as easily dismissed as belief.
Mhm.
You know, so it really just depends on your mindset. Like, you know, two people can look at the same group of circumstantial evidence, and one will look at it in a favorable light, and the other one will look at it in a not favorable light.
Yes.
And they can both draw equally valid conclusions just based on what perspective they want to look at it at. So I'm going to be a fence rider. And you know, I'm not going to cut it short and just be like, oh, it's possible. I'm going to put a likelihood at probably, I'm going to put a number on it.
1 out of 10, because that was going to be the next question.
In that case, probably about a 2 or a 3. I was going to say 15 to 25%.
I think that's reasonable.
That, like, it's a mistaken for another animal, or I don't know. But yeah.
All right. Well, I'm honestly kind of on
Could
that
be a
fence
large
riding
American
part.
gorilla.
Makes sense.
If you had to give the thing that makes you fence ride on either side the most, I guess, is there one thing that is strong enough to make you say, hey, I'm gonna leave room for that 25%, and is there one thing that's like, yeah, that 75% is there for a reason? For me, the circumstantial evidence would be the 75%. Is there something that kind of gets you on either side of the aisle there?
I mean, again, this is like one of the pieces of evidence that, like, depending on how you want to look at it, but like the variations in stories actually kind of make sense. Because, you know, there are bears, but there are polar bears, there are grizzly bears, there are black bears, there are brown bears, there are cinnamon bears, there are dancing bears.
Delicious.
Yeah. So
Jelly baby.
you know, some variety in looks is not to me evidence against. It's more evidence for, because you know, animals adapt to their surroundings. You know, so there might be a certain kind of Bigfoot that mostly is in a certain kind of range, and therefore will mostly look a certain kind of way. But you know, you hit a double recessive, and you know, you never know.
It's true. This is true. Yeah, because if I'm gonna toss my hat into the rink in the skeptic side, I'd say the best is the best people have is circumstantial evidence. There's no like 100% unknown footprint that I'm aware of that is been found. That's okay. That's not someone drawing that into the sand. That's not someone enlarging somebody else's footprint that's already there. There's no, if they are a vegetarian, there's not like sets of leaves, half-eaten mushrooms, half-eaten roots, or something like. Of course, you usually finish a meal, I would think, out in the wild if you have to, and if that's all you're eating, you'd probably try to eat as much as you can. At the same time, if you're intelligent, bipedal, whatever, and you're using your hands to eat, there's a good chance someone's just going to toss something. Or if you really don't want to be seen, you might drop your food and just get the hell out of Dodge at some point if you're really trying to avoiding being seen, you know? So I think just the lack of any, not pure or true evidence per se, but nothing that really forces the thought that, all right, there's a scientific approach here to finding these guys, would be what keeps me from believing. If I'm putting my skeptic hat on, if I'm putting my, hey, I want to believe these are real on, like you just said, like there's brown bears, black bears, grizzly bears, cinnamon bears, sound delicious again, you know, so on and so forth. There's options, that there would be variations of Bigfoot, Big Feet, Sasquatch, Sasquatch-I, whatever we're going with here. And if they are migratory in the sense that we've talked about, they would have a much larger region, which would give credence to the variable kind of idea there of how many different types of Bigfoot there'd be. I think it makes more sense why they wouldn't be found as often if they migrate like that, or if they have different sub-pockets of species across just the north and northwest U.S. and western and southern Canada. You know, I think building tree nests, turning upside down tree. Well, I don't know, and stuff like that is kind of I don't know. The thing that really puts me back on the fence ride, if I'm taking my hat off from skeptic or wanting to believe side, I think, is a lot of the people that are out there finding it and looking for that, and or just seeing something on the side of the road or something like that. Is these are honest people a lot of the times that don't take pictures. It seems like the people that don't take pictures are the ones that are like convinced that they saw something. And if someone takes a picture, it's typically manufactured. It's not true. And to me, that is exciting. That's fun. It both gives more and less credence in its own way. The fact that there's so many sightings and people are actively trying to find something, and just, you know, brain going into that Forrest Galante, Animal Planet kind of mindset is, yeah, there could be some stuff out there that's not necessarily extinct or endangered, but somewhere in between, and they could be elusive if they are intelligent and they've thwarted us for this long. If I were them, I'd keep thwarting us as much as possible, you know? There is a good riding of the fence here that I think I'll sit on as well. Before we hear Monk's dissertations above, because I know he's going to get a little bit more specific with the SciTrek, and I think diving more into that at some point whenever we talk about maybe like an orangutan deck and stuff like that would be really interesting, because that almost sounds not one for one or anything, but like a similar category, of course. I'm kind of with you. I'd say
I'm
about
ready to hear from like someone immersed in it.
uh-huh.
Like I'm here.
I'm going with 20%. I'm going with I think there's about a 20% chance that they were and or are real. And dragons, I don't think we gave a percentage or anything, but I would think there's probably a solid like 35-40% dragons were real. Probably not in the fire-breathing way that we think about them, but some kind of like dinosaur that had wings that was able to fly around just didn't really have the right bones to get fossilized and wasn't in the right environments to be fossilized either. Maybe there's too much mythology and lore around that where there's not, hey, one animal split off and while we were in Pangea, got caught up in a bunch of different places, and now everywhere on the globe kind of ends up having different derivatives of the same story in one way. It happened with bipedal hominids. I mean, there's versions of us every continent, whether it's actual Homo sapien or not. There's different apes, there's different gorillas, monkeys, lemurs, so on and so forth. There's variables of us as well. That I think alone gives me some credence. Well, I'm gonna give it 20%. I don't think a bipedal hominid walking around is completely out of possibility. Howdy. Kind of on the tail end of it, but you're getting the good stuff right now. And then you can always scroll back and check out everything else. But howdy. Have to have you here. Mr. Monk!
Mm-hmm.
And
before you give us the good dissertation, if you have to put your skeptic hat on, what are your biggest things that keep that skepticism? I can't speak anymore either. What keeps that skepticism there for you if you're putting your skeptic hat?
Well, as someone whose post-secondary education is largely in the social sciences, it's one of those things where evidence is necessary for proof. We have circumstantial evidence, but we don't have anything that would concretely show that they exist. So that's probably the most of it.
Now, if you were to put your fun hat on, hey, it's almost like, hey, my hat's on. I live in the area. People my entire life have told me they've seen it. My family members say they've seen it, so on and so forth. You have credence to believe it personally. Mm-hmm. What really puts you there? Is some of it the native aspect, or is it more your personal experience with people that you know? Or both?
It's just professionally, I have worked with different Native American tribes for the better part of the last 10 years in one way or another. And I know them well enough to know that if they say that they've seen something, that I want to believe that they said that what they've said they've seen is accurate. I've lived too much of the culture and the lore of the area and of some of the tribes I've worked with to discount it as nothing. I think there's something to it. What there is to it, I can't say for certain because of various different factors. But
sure.
But I want to believe that if someone I've worked with or someone I know is that I've seen this and here's why and here's my story, that they're saying what they actually saw. Yeah.
I mean, family members don't have a reason to lie for you to you, especially tribal members that you're going out and working with and doing stuff. It's not like, oh, let me pull this guy's leg real quick. Maybe, but also if you're consistently going out talking to people and you know them personally, that's not typically what's going to be happening. The personal aspect makes a lot of sense to me. Do you think there's anything with the Native American lore of the SciTrek and stuff that really kind of puts that thought over the edge in any ways? Which if y'all haven't seen this, go check it out.
It's the idea that the way they're described, the way that I've heard them described, is not as very intelligent beings who know multiple languages, who are able to speak a Native American tongue to the natives in the area, who then may or may not have some way of masking themselves so no one else can see them. It's one case I know of. They'll actually leave food out for them, and that food will disappear. Where does it go? Is it taken by an animal out there, or is it taken by a SciTrek? There's no concrete proof or evidence of it. But again, the people I know wouldn't necessarily try to pull my leg and tell me something that wasn't true if they didn't actually believe it.
Have they ever tried to put a camera on the food bowls?
No, but I don't think they would. I think it's almost a
thing of
belief
trust
thing that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe like trust between the two parties there. Yeah. Nathan put in a really good thought here before we jump out of here. Well, we got a little funny thing real quick. Native Americans all sat around smoking some good stuff, thinking, how can we get back at the white man? Them suckers will believe anything. Well, it would be really funny if that were the actual case.
Ayahuasca is a thing.
But the fact that it's like true mythology within multiple tribes, and you know, I'm assuming and presuming, but typically tribes intermingled, sure, but not a whole lot necessarily. If there are distinct multiple tribes that have similar stories of these kind of creatures, it would be, I think, less play a trick on the white man, you know. Although that is, it's as funny as that is, it's not like implausible by any means either. But Nathan did have a really good thought here. We can't go there. Sorry, what?
To that end, like, we believe things in our culture every day that other people wouldn't necessarily believe are real. What's to say that it isn't the same there?
Yeah.
There are some people that believe that I don't know, that just mythology. It's ancient Greek mythology. There are some people who believe that ancient Greek mythology was actually a thing. And then there are some people who believe that ancient Greek mythology is just stories.
Well, the thing about a lot of lore is, no matter what civilization it comes from or what the subject matter is, the basic point is they all believe they either saw something or it's the best explanation they have for whatever it was they saw at the time. Like, you know, what we know, you know, we can explain a thunderstorm now. The ancient Greeks, they couldn't explain shit. And what's the first thing that humans do when they can't explain something? Or at least not all of them, but a lot of them. If I don't know what the hell it is, something supernatural caused it.
I mean,
you know, especially back then, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's easier to believe in the
how
divine.
How many people do you know that have?
I know, but like,
I saw Dionysus last week.
Yeah, that being said, for, you know, Greek and Norse mythology and all that stuff, where they were, a lot of that's just the explanation of natural events or whatever. When it comes to like living creatures, when we're talking Native American lore, they definitely fucking saw something. You know?
Yeah. There's no,
like,
for lack of a better term, there's no
about
bullshit in Native American lore, you know? Like, they're pretty straight shooting.
Yeah, it's not, you know, it's not like they were trying to explain the weather or something astronomical. We're talking literal generations of Native Americans from any number of tribes are all of them are seeing that creature. Now, they might not all explain it the exact same way because, you know, cultural differences will impact how you describe stuff. But they saw something.
Yeah. What that something is, 'tis the question. While we are thinking about that question, Nathan brings up a good point, and apparently I need to read it all, which I did, but let me go ahead and read it out loud all. Bigfoot is an extremophile He lives in an extreme part of the environment, much like other creatures. Dragon snails live in volcanic vents. Insects have been found under glaciers, for example. And we can't go there, but our tech can. Bigfoot is in another extreme environment that we haven't gotten the tech for yet. See, we do have the tech for that. If we can scan LiDAR throughout the Amazon rainforest and the parts of, obviously, that's limited to a degree. We're furthering that every day, every month, every year kind of deal.
LiDAR's so cool, though.
It's so cool. I don't think the Pacific Northwest is remotely as dense or crazy geographically as the Amazon rainforest would be. It's not far off in some places, probably. But tech-wise, you'd think LiDAR could handle that. Choose life. Choose Bigfoot! What would you, Monk, have anything specifically to say about, tech being able to jump in there because you just know the region better than the rest of us? Are there too many deep wooded areas that we can't get to that this really opens up the possibility, or can people hike anywhere kind of deal? If they really wanted to, they can keep hiking.
There are plenty of hiking trails out there. And then I'm sure you could bring mobile tech, consumer mobile tech in. But realistically, again, we're talking about an area where if I go 2 hours north in my car, I'm going to get no cell phone reception.
That's right.
So there has to actually be a concerted effort to do it. Could we do it? Sure. Is there the will to do it? If we can't get good cell phone reception, then what's the point?
Yeah, and who's going to fund that in the first place as well? Yeah, that's there's multitudes of things.
Well,
Maybe.
an answer to that isn't Elon releasing a phone with a direct Starlink connection?
Oh, yeah, that will actually solve a lot of things in that
That'll
sense.
solve it.
It depends
I
how
think that'd be
effective.
planned all along, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it depends how effective
so-
that is. But satellite phones
Just
tend to be
saying.
more effective all over.
Sometimes, like if you're driving under the tree canopy going
Good luck.
that north or south there, you're not going to get reception. I don't care if you have Starlink.
How about under a bridge? Okay, no, that's good luck. Okay, so
wanna feel like I did that day. Sorry, you said under the
No,
bridge.
jam.
My brain said chili peppers.
full spectrum satellite would be awesome. We're on the way. Our species is on the way. So let's go quest first. If you had to give a numerical value of the percentage chance of Sasquatch being real, like Chillin and I did a minute ago, what number would you give it? If Chillin said 25 and I said 20, that's a 1 out of 4 and a 1 out of 5 chance. Just gut instinct. And then for the sake of it, what would you say for dragons?
You had to throw that in, didn't you?
I have
Well,
to.
for Bigfoot, I'd probably go in between you two. Say probably 22 and a half or something like that. Or 22%.
Specifically,
Just to go in between, But just to be different. Yeah. But for dragons, I'd say it's about 70%, 80%. That they were real.
Bucket of chicken. He's a vegetarian. Get some tofu over there. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm more privy to believe that dragons were a real thing as well. But not in the sense.
I mean, I'd say that I only say it because the possibility of dragons existing and then not leaving any evidence behind is actually explainable. But with the technology we have now, we're talking about a creature or an animal or being that is supposed to be around now. It's difficult. It's difficult to prove without the evidence. So,
All right.
it's easier to disprove than prove, which is always the issue with these kinds of things.
So the real thing is, are they guilty or are they not? Are they? You have to disprove that they're real before you're considering them real, or are they real before you disprove them? What side of the law are we doing? Guilty before innocent or innocent before guilty? Bump up.
Some of the questions you come up with.
No, I'm just playing with that one. But Monk, if you had to give a numerical value before we jump on out of here, what percentage would you say the likelihood of a Sasquatch being real is?
Out of 10, 7. There's a possibility that it's not, but like again, I gotta trust the people that I know who have experienced it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. The fact that you have personal stories, articles, reports, tales, whatever the right verbiage is, that would, I think, definitely give me a higher percentage there as well if I were you. Makes sense. All these thoughts, though, we're definitely gonna have to revisit at a certain point. My pitch for next week is going to be talking about the Burrows on Netflix, if y'all have checked that out just yet or not. We can talk about it being canceled and the cool creatures and stuff and all kinds of that. Jared Morantz, who we interviewed for Fallout and stuff, he did the creatures for that. I'm very disappointed it's not getting a season 2. That would be my pitch for next week, but we can revisit this at any point too. Oh, there's a fly that got in here. Great. But yeah, I think we've kind of covered this topic pretty well. Is there anything else that we should add in there that y'all think needs to be added in before we jump on out?
I would like to invite Harris or Sarah or whoever to come with me to Forks, Washington, and we can do a Bigfoot hunt. You could even film
that
it.
Would be fun. That would be fun. Would summer be the best time to do that, or what time of the year do Bigfoot hunts tend to go? All year, or
I'm not sure entirely, but I'm sure we can figure that out.
That'd be fun. We're gonna be the ones to find it. All of them. We're gonna hop on a whole colony of big feet.
And make sure your phones are fully charging to actually take pictures.
I'm wearing my
even video.
I don't have Google glasses or whatever the hell, but I will get some Google glasses or something for it. Hey, plenty of Bigfoot stories here in Tennessee too. Nice.
That makes sense.
Nice,
There's a lot of mountains in Tennessee.
And that would
the Appalachians
be a lot more migratory.
Well, I mean, yeah, the Appalachians run out right up into New York, which is only a hop, skip, and a jump from Canada. So,
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would happen if a Sasquatch and a Jersey Devil mated? Would it be a big devil or a devil foot?
Probably a big devil.
Chupacabra. No, I don't know.
Oh, there we go. That's how that happens.
Probably be a big pool of blood.
It would be a really big pool of blood, realistically. The devil foot. David, can you generate us a devil foot at some point, good sir? All that being said, though, I think we've kind of covered it pretty well. We will dive back down with some more articles and such whenever we talk, maybe orang pendek and some similar other bipedal kind of things like this we'd like. Maybe not immediately, but we can kind of keep that on the back burner if there's not some fun TV and movies going on, because there are a lot of TV and movies going on in the world of creatures and cryptids in the next few months. Schmook was wanting to talk about some Evil Dead, probably too not sci-fi at all. As much as I absolutely adore it, Jill and I have been talking about it online the last week or so. Like, it's the best thing ever. It's Sam Raimi, you know.
I think I've explained my issue with some versions. I mean, you do have the science fiction versions of stuff like that, but then you also have the supernatural stuff, or the occult stuff that comes into it as well. So It all depends on how it happens, not that it happens. It's like what made a zombie a zombie? Well, it was a alien spacecraft came down and re-energized a dead person. That's sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even a virus, borderline sci-fi.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect
Someone
sense.
reads a page from a book. That's not science fiction.
Yeah.
So
and
it's all to do with that.
I think one of those things that we'll get at is Schmoog also mentioned maybe later this year covering Werewolf, the Robert Eggers movie, which is mythological, of course, but it is a myth that comes from nature, for lack of a better term, I guess. So it is a natural thing, which is by definition science fiction in that. So
I mean,
check
lycanthropy is
that
literally a biological condition.
yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be a fun one that we can kind of bridge the gap a little bit between that fantasy and sci-fi later in the year. I think that comes out Christmas Day, so that'll be fun. Werewolf, and then come home and watch a bunch of Harry Potter or an episode of Harry Potter just to see how it is. We'll see. All that being said, though, I think
Jesus Christ, is Harry Potter coming out soon. Then I haven't kept
that comes
track.
out
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Jesus.
Yeah, lycanthropy is to werewolves, as porphyria is to vampires.
I did, just while we're here real quick, hope to see everybody here in just a minute as well. Sarah mentioned it. It was set for 7:15, but we like to talk some Bigfoot, and I expected it to go a little long, so I was trying to push it back. I'm putting it for 7:25, so in about 8-10 minutes. I might even do 7:30. I might need to go run inside and grab some extra water and hit the bathroom, do the usual things. So let's call it 7:30, and we'll do our Silo watch party. And that is next up over here. So ending this, jumping over there after we jump off of here. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning on the Radical Wasteland podcast to talk how this episode of Silo went. And then, of course, see you again Sci-Fi Sundays. Monday, Sarah and I are back again, of course, with Craprica, whatever you consider it. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I'm hoping past the pilot is more fun.
Crap. Honestly, release order or nothing, man. Come on.
Chronological, baby, is the way to do it. It's
no.
We're either gonna learn it's the right way or the wrong way to do it after we finish all of Battlestar. It'll be fun. Anyway, that's Monday. Tuesday, I'll do some more membership streams with y'all, talking some Star Trek Enterprise again. And Wednesday, we'll be back with SciTrek Maneuver. And see you again next week on Thursday for Creatures and Cryptids. Hopefully talking the burrows. But if you have anything that you would like us to cover on Creatures and Cryptids, y'all please send it our way. Let us know. Put it in the community page on SciTrek. Besides that, we'll see you in a few minutes to watch Season 3, Episode 2 of Silo. While we're at it, Monk, is there any socials you want to drop? Is there anywhere you would like people to come find you or say howdy?
Right here, man. I'm here for you.
Cool. Well, we love and appreciate you, brother.
I'm here
man.
for you. Outside of that, I'm just gonna be in the chat, talking to Littlefinger and trying to convince him that Bigfoot's real and our love of the thing, of course.
Come on, David. If the thing is the thing real, is my question to David. Let's see him give a dissertation real quick. Melvin, Mr. Quest, I do have one of these built out for you, and I will build out ones for everybody else as well. But where can we find you? Where can folks find you? Do you have anything on the horizon?
Not at the moment, but I'm trying to get back onto doing stuff on my other channels, but just lately I have not really been able to do anything. So I'm not sure when or if I'm going to be able to do a lot for a while.
Okay. Understandable. Camera stuff is Just a little annoying at times to have to deal with.
Especially
but,
when you have a mic issue, you fix the mic issue, then there's a camera issue. What the fuck, man?
it's got to be something.
Tech,
Did you use the camera cord to fix the mic? Is the next question.
Well, no, because the camera has a fixed cord.
I
Come on, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
I had to
What do you think
find a
I've got?
joke.
What do you think I've got? A $500 fucking camera? Jesus Christ.
No, a $7,000.
I wish.
For-
I wish. I wish I had a
I'd-
studio camera in front of me right now. Seriously, at least it would
You've
work.
got a red right behind the screen,
How
just ready
How
for
did the
you.
word dollar come out of your mouth so naturally?
I was actually,
Talking
as
to
I said,
Americans.
dollar back. I was shocked.
I'm talking to Americans. That's why. It's
Hmm.
easier
It
to
was
say it.
5,000
Like, oh,
quid.
5,000 quid. Well, actually, that would be around what,
2,500.
Just remember,
3.5.
it's
Or
aluminum.
3,700
It's-
euros.
Monk said it right. It's aluminum, damn it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Aluminium.
Aluminium.
That's what I said. Aluminium.
To distract us from the bickering between nations. Chilling. Where can folks find you? Do you have anything on the horizon? What's the next stream looking like? What's happening? And why is Supergirl the worst movie of the year? I'm kidding, but anyway.
I was gonna say, dude. Yeah,
I got to piss you off just a little.
that doesn't piss me off. It's just I could shit on James Gunn for an hour straight. Anyway, yeah. So no, you
Sunday?
can find me. Literally, this is the name of my channel. Why am I going back? Fuck it. Anyway, that's the name of my channel right there. Stream pretty much every Wednesday and Saturday. I took last Saturday off for the 4th, obviously, but
Yeah.
So yeah, I stream every Wednesday and Saturday. Right now, it's basically what's going on in the world of comic book movies or Star Trek or not Star Trek so much, but Star Wars. Basically, Marvel, Star Wars, DC are my biggest subject. When other stuff comes
It's
up like
been a busy
Alien
week.
Earth, yeah, but I branch out into like Alien and stuff like when Alien Earth comes on. But yeah, live streams pretty much every Wednesday and Saturday. Wednesdays at 9 Eastern, Saturdays at 10 Eastern, and again, that's mostly news and stuff. Right now Wednesdays are split between X-Men 97, watching that, and then I go news because
Nice.
one half-hour episode. I got plenty of time after that to yap about stuff. And then I'll throw on watch parties on other days, like freaking April. I was having for like 3 weeks. I think I had I was streaming 4 nights a week because I had a Tuesday watch party, Wednesday. I can't remember if some of it was news, and then another watch party on Wednesday, and then one on Thursday, and then my normal news stream on Saturday. That's when Invincible and The Boys and something else was all going at the same damn time. It was crazy. So I will expand. I'll expand the number of streams I do, but you can pretty much count on Wednesdays and Saturdays for sure.
Well, cool. Well, y'all know where to go. Oh, you have OF over
Nice
there.
one, David. Nice
Uh-oh.
one, David.
I
Yeah.
don't know if someone just changed their screen name to that, but it is a little terrifying. Ah!
Pull the one up. Pull Dave's up real quick.
Oh, this one?
Yes, I poo on James Gunn like Cartman's mom got pooed on in the Shiza video.
It's scripted.
James
But I
is
think we all get
James is my Cartman's mom.
The more you think about the visual, the worse and funnier it gets. Well, all that being said, again, thank y'all so much for hanging with us and talking all the crazy creatures and cryptids specifically today. It was a lot of fun. That was a good one. See y'all in a few minutes for Silo, of course, and stay cosmic, SciTrekkers. We will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Adios.
Later.
Happy watching.